Alright, so we're back once again, and today we're going to be covering something, well, maybe I've touched on a little bit in the past, but today we're going to go really in depth in it, and that is the different types of playstyles, not players, playstyles that you will bump into or smash your head into when you play World of Warships. Now, some of these are good, some of these are bad, and of course, some are in between. But no doubt some of us have played like this, at least some of the games in World of Warships that we've played. So with that being said, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing, blah blah blah, like, dislike, if you like, don't like it, whatever. Okay, let's get into it. First up is the perfectionist. Now, of course, the perfectionist can mean many different things. To one person, the perfectionist is someone who executes their intended plan perfectly, with absolutely no error relative to the intended plan. And well, if that's the idea of the perfectionist that you think of when in World of Warships, then you're going to see a whole lot of interesting plays in World of Warships, where players are perfectly executing the strategy of pushing straight through the middle of the map, with the only plan being to left click as many times as possible before their HP pool inevitably drops to zero. There is another type of perfectionist. That's the type that wants to be so perfect that they are paralyzed by the need for everything to be absolutely perfect to the highest degree possible before they can actually do something. This manifestation of the perfectionist in World of Warships tends to show itself in the form of those players that, when the game starts, they spend the first minute keeping their guns turned straight ahead, and then when they finally do start to accelerate, they have to wait until each quarter speed is fully loaded before they press that W key once again and proceed to the next quarter speed. By the time they actually get into the game is usually over or pretty much decided. But that's just the downsides of being a perfectionist in World of Warships. Now, there are upsides. Perfectionists tend to be much better than the average player, mostly due to the fact that they actually do think about the things they do in game before actually doing them, which is surprisingly not a very common trait you see in the game if you do play a couple of battles. Just today I shot torps at an incoming emerald that's seen them from about 10 kilometers away, but still somehow got hit by them. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Anyways. Next up is the explorers. You're going to see a running theme here. There are many different types of each of these playstyles that occur in the game. So in that vein, let's talk about the explorers. The first type of explorer is probably more of a good kind than all that bad. This is the type of player that basically will spend so many games exploring all different positions in order to find out which one works best for certain situations. They'll also play every single ship known to man in order to figure out every single thing they can about them, from gun caliber to torpedo belt. This type of player will no doubt know it just from experience. But it doesn't end there. They also spend loads of time on Reddit, Twitch and YouTube just exploring everything they can, just because it's fun and it's something they enjoy doing. This is the good kind of explorer, the kind that, although they enjoy really intensely going in a certain direction, at least they have a direction to funnel that energy into. The other kind, well, I can't really say the same about the other kind. The other kind of explorer is what you get if you take the explorer I just described and remove the direction from everything they do. So instead of cruising around the map looking for the best position to deal maximum damage from, they decide just to sail to an island because, well, it looks cool, or because there's a really cool picture on it. And thoughts like, I wonder what would happen if I go chase the enemy carrier for the rest of the game instead of spotting, constantly enter their head. Exploring can be a double-edged sword, and can really help you improve the game, but at the same time can make you go around in circles for a very, very, very long time. But one thing is for sure, if you're not an explorer and put yourself in uncomfortable situations or new situations, it's going to be very difficult to get good at this game. Let's keep going. Next up is the killers, and well, it probably doesn't sound as bad as it actually does sound, and at the same time I don't really know where to start with the killers. I guess there is kind of two different types of killers, if you can actually call them two different types, I'm not so sure, but here we go anyways. The first kind is the player that will stop at nothing to get kills every single game. Now, you may be thinking, this is a good thing. They want kills. But they see a game where they didn't get multiple kills as a failure at the least, and a disaster of the most. This is the type of player that basically pins their self-worth on how many kills they got in the game. But again, what this usually means is that they'll steal your kill. Even if the enemy ship is sitting at 100 HP and there's no other ships around, they simply don't care at all. And they'll make that fact very vocal in chat. Now, these types of killers are balanced out just like all the other playstyles that I've mentioned so far in the video. The exception being that the other version of the killer is so completely potent that they are basically just game breaking by being in the game. These type of killers come in the form of super unicorns, and by the end of the game, instead of stealing kills in order to get kills, you generally are stealing one of their kills as a result of just how much carnage they can dish out to the enemy team in the space of 20 minutes. So in terms of which these two versions is better, I think you'll find it pretty self-evident as to which is superior, and even if you can't be that super unicorn in games, it's a much better thing to strive towards than being the first version. The running theme of this video is that you have two sides to basically each coin, and well, the achievers is not different. You have the overachievers and you also have the underachievers. Let's start with the overachievers first of all. Overachievers are basically the perfect mix of the explorer, the killer, and the perfectionist all mixed into one. They constantly evaluate what they're about to and are currently doing. They know how to play and constantly get at least 1 to 2 kills per game minimum, and know basically all there is to know about the game. From gun caliber to torpedo belts to damage numbers, they have all the knowledge and definitely know how to use it effectively. These types of players are the best of the best, and generally are the ones who play very high tier competitive games, not just clan battles. Now on the other end of the spectrum is the underachiever, and much like the overachiever is the best of the previous 3 types of playstyle mixed into one, the underachiever is the worst of all the 3 previous versions all mixed into one. They are extremely hesitant to do anything, and as a result do more damage by not acting than if they had have acted and made the wrong decision. They tend to get strange thoughts throughout the game and follow through with them, i.e. the chasing the CV, which I mentioned earlier. And of course they love to kill steal or kill secure. Either way, whether it's an underachiever or overachiever on your team, it's definitely going to be a memorable experience. And finally we get to the very last playstyle that you'll meet in World of Warships, the Socializers. And well, I'm not even sure this particular playstyle should even be in here, as it's more of a state of mind than a playstyle in and of itself, but I thought I would include it anyways because why not? So to keep on running with the overall theme of the video, let's just say that the Socializers go to the extreme. And although there may be some good aspects to them, more often than not, the result of meeting a Socializer in a game is not good. The first kind are generally not that bad. Those are the ones that will immediately say hello to everyone in the game, ask them how they are and how their day is going. This wouldn't be so bad, except for the fact that they try to keep the conversation going throughout the entirety of the game, and as a result lose focus on the game entirely. But again, as I say, this isn't all that bad, and generally these players mean very well, and don't cause all that much of an issue. The other socializer is much more toxic. These are the type of socializer that as soon as someone makes a mistake, these players have to vocalize everything in a passive-aggressive tone to no end. And this way of playing the game is like the spawn of Satan. And well, I guess I should leave it there before I say something I regret. Much like the way I type something out in chat to respond to someone like this in game, but don't press the enter key because, well, I have no interest in wasting my own time, and I generally have no interest in being chat banned for about 3 months. So, with that being said, that sums up all the playstyles that I can think of in World of Warships. If you've got any you'd like to add, leave a comment down below. If you like this content, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. And again, if you enjoy it, consider subscribing. But until next time, I'll see you all in the next one.